La Liga did return 2024. The return of La Liga, the new year. La Liga. Let's go straight to Spain, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Football is a Religion, man. If you're new to this channel, man, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, man. Welcome to Football is a Religion once again, man. I'm Pubesi Mpati Mhlaba, your host, man. You understand? Let us please grow this community together, Bafetu, worldwide, and let us, be part of this global journey, man. You understand? We're going global. We're global. You understand? We are a global community, and let us grow it globally. So, ladies and gentlemen, first things first. Let's go straight to the Bernabeu. Beautiful stadium it is, right? It seems like renovations are complete, aren't they? Maybe my friends in Spain will tell me. They'll let me know. My friends in Madrid, they'll let me know whether I'm right or correct, whether I'm right or wrong on this one. But it seems like renovations are complete. It's mesmerizing seeing it from the top view. The newly renovated Santiago Bernabeu. But we will talk about that very later on. Let us get straight back to the action on the field. The 11ARENA, right? The field. Okay? Real Madrid took on Mallorca. Okay? So, Real Madrid won this game by 1-0. I understand. But it was not just a straightforward victory. Even the scoreline does reflect that. It was not straightforward, irrespective of the fact that Real Madrid did dominate this game, right? We saw the return of Vinicius Jr. After a lengthy spell on the sidelines. We also saw Aurelien Tchouameni starting his first game since October, right? And he played at centre-back alongside Antonio Rudiger. So Aurelien Tchouameni playing out of position. You understand? But that's the importance of when you play for a big club like Real Madrid. You have to be versatile. You have to be willing, be flexible, be willing to compromise for the team. But reason why they put him at centre-back, Ancelotti, is because Real Madrid have got a long list of injuries. David Alaba, Mendy, Nacho, Militao, all those injuries, all those players are out. They have got a shortage of centre-backs. So Aurelien Tchouameni, he has to cover. He has to sacrifice for the team. He has to compromise. And that's exactly what he did. And he's actually excelling. He had a decent game at centre-back alongside his partner, Antonio Rudiger, who did score the winning goal in this match. And remember, it seems like Antonio Rudiger does enjoy scoring against Mallorca. He relishes these opponents because remember when he got his first goal for Real Madrid, he was against Mallorca at the Santiago Bernabeu in a 4-1 victory for Los Blancos. So let's get straight to it. Real Madrid did dominate the first half, right? They had a couple of opportunities here and there, but it was actually Mallorca. It was actually Mallorca that were more threatening. You understand? It was actually Mallorca, right? Because if you think about it, Mallorca hit the woodwork twice in the first half. They had the better of the chances in the first 45 minutes of the game, right? Antonio Sanchez's far post header just before halftime cannoned off the underside of the crossbar with the ball gratefully grasped by Andrew Lunin as it bounced back from the goal line. That was a huge scare for Los Blancos, a huge scare for Real Madrid. Bellingham did also have a chance, but it was a difficult near post header, which was gratefully saved by Predrag Rajkovic, the Mallorca goalkeeper. It was a very easy save for Rajkovic, in the Mallorca goal from a Bellingham header. Remember Bellingham, he has been on fine form for the white team of Madrid, of the Spanish capital. He's got 13 league goals so far this season. He's the top goal scorer in La Liga. You understand? He's the top goal scorer in La Liga. But it seems like former Madrid stars, Alvaro Morata as well as Borja Mayoral are closing in on him. Only by 1 goal, as they are both on 12 goals each in La Liga. So yeah, it's very interesting to say the least. A midfielder, not even a centre forward, actually being the top goal scorer. It's interesting to say the least, but wow, he has settled in very well following his big money move from Borussia Dortmund. And again, hey, Mallorca again struck the woodwork once again. Portuguese midfielder, formerly of Braga and Almeria, Samu Costa, his spectacular long-range effort struck the woodwork. And then, following that, it bounced off the foot of the post. Hey, Madrid, they were threatening dangerously, were Real Madrid. But credit must go to Mallorca. Mallorca kept it very compact. They were very resilient in defense. They had resilient defending. They stuck to their game plan. They frustrated their opponents. Because Real Madrid, yes, Vinicius had a great opportunity after a great nutmeg to actually set himself on sides. And he said he unleashed a powerful shot from outside of the box. And what a great save by Rajkovic in the Mallorca goal once again. Great save by the goalkeeper to actually deny Vini, who came close to scoring on his return. Before that, he also had two great opportunities as Modric actually broke down the Mallorca defense to actually set the Brazilian on his bike, but he dragged his effort wide with his weak left foot. And then he combined with his compatriot Rodrigo, but again, he was indecisive, Vinicius Jr. Very indecisive. It's either, I don't know whether, you wouldn't be sure whether he was passing the ball, whether he was trying to shoot, but yeah, the ball went wide of the mark. Another opportunity missed for Madrid. But hey, I remember he came back from injury, so you couldn't really put too much pressure on him. Rodrigo was not in the game at all. Yes, he did have a chance, but he was just not clinical in front of goal. He just lacked that killer instinct in front of goal, Rodrigo. He was just not in the game at all. He was not really affecting the game that much, As for Luka Modric, what a player he is. He's aging very well. From that corner kick, he's the one who actually provided the assist for Antonio Rudiger's header from a corner kick. Great corner from Luka Modric, and Antonio Rudiger, the German, the big man. He rose above everybody in the box. He rose above everybody with a powerful header to actually give Los Blancos a much-needed 3 points. After it was clearly obvious that this game was heading for another goalless draw, and Real Madrid were about to drop points. Hey, Antonio Rudiger had other ideas, scoring in the 78th minute. This is only his second goal for Los Blancos against Mallorca once again. So yeah, important 3 points for Real Madrid once again. And remember, I think credit must go to Brahim Diaz as well as Joselu, because Madrid needed energy in the second half. They needed energy. And those two players, Joselu as well as Brahim Diaz, they're the ones who brought in the energy. They're the ones who changed the complexion of the game. As to how Brahim Diaz did not score, for Real Madrid, after Rodrigo's effort was saved and the rebound by Brahim Diaz hit the post with a header, I asked myself, how did he not score? I'm sure he'll also be asking himself that question. as to how he did not put that ball in the back of the net. Even Joselu had a brilliant opportunity. It was just one of those days for Real Madrid. Again, let us talk about the fact that Mallorca, resilient defending, they stuck to the game plan. They were solid. They were organized. They were strategic coming into this one, So they frustrated their opponents. They did so well to frustrate their opponents. You understand? And now, this victory for Real Madrid, this 1-0 victory for Real Madrid, now means that Real Madrid are at the top, level on points with Girona, on goal difference. Both teams are top of La Liga, Real Madrid and Girona. But Real Madrid are just above Girona on goal difference at the top of La Liga. And now Real Madrid are now unbeaten in 18 games in all competitions, 13 in the league. As for Mallorca still remain in 14th place. And, it must also be mentioned that only a handful of teams in La Liga have won fewer games than Mallorca so far this season. But the Islanders came into this game off a back of 2 victories in their last 3 outings before Christmas. And they were the closer of the 2 sides, like I said, to breaking the deadlock in the first half, as I mentioned. So you just couldn't underestimate the Islanders. You could never underestimate them at all. You couldn't. Great 3 points for Los Blancos, well deserved. Hopefully, Mallorca can continue with this momentum. They can take all the positive from the game, irrespective of the fact that they did eventually lose the game. But look, it's not all done and dusted. Mallorca can still make an impression. They can still keep going. They just need to keep up with this momentum. Okay, and then at the Gran Canaria, in the Canary Islands, right? Las Palmas took on FC Barcelona. And obviously the result was a 2-1 victory for Blaugrana, FC Barcelona, winning by 2 goals to 1 at the Gran Canaria in the Canary Islands, the home of Las Palmas. So, yeah, again, Barcelona, it was a scrappy win for them. You know, their woes continue, irrespective of the fact that they did get all 3 points, but they were far from convincing in this game, to say the least. It was a nightmare. It was just a nightmare start for them, for Barcelona. You understand? It was a nightmare start for them because they lost João Cancelo due to injury, right? And it has been reported that João Cancelo has strained his medial collateral ligament in his left knee. You understand? So the doctors have mentioned that he'll only be available for selection due to the fact that depending on how he recovers, depending on how he responds to depending on how he responds to the injury, and depending on his recovery, how long his recovery is going to take. So the medical experts haven't yet actually given us confirmation on when will he be available and fit for selection once again. But it will just depend on how he responds, and based on like how he will be able to recover, right? So remember, João Cancelo has been a very important asset to this Barca team. He has played 22 matches so far since joining in the summer, 16 games in La Liga, 6 in the Champions League. He has got 3 goals to his name already, as well as 2 assists for Blaugrana. He has been a crucial asset for FC Barcelona, and we wish him nothing but a speedy recovery. And then 2 minutes later, Barcelona went behind. A former Barca old boy, a former Blaugrana old boy, scoring against his former club. Basically, it was a combination of the former Barcelona players, Sandro Ramirez, as well as Munir Al-Haddadi, who will be on international duty at the African Cup of Nations as he will be representing Morocco. Yeah, it was a combination between Sandro Ramirez setting up Munir Al-Haddadi, who beat Inaki Peña to the ball, the Barcelona goalkeeper, to the ball to actually give Las Palmas the lead. It was very poor defending from Barcelona, to say the least. Christensen should have done better in terms of closing down Ramirez, as well as Ronald Araujo should have also tracked the run of Munir. He should have been much closer to Munir, but he wasn't. So Barca were again behind. Second time again they've conceded early. It just shows that their woes are continuing. Defensively, there's a lot of frailties in this Barcelona team. They're not showing any intent of actually wanting to challenge for the La Liga title in terms of defending their crown. You understand? Because from that point onwards, Las Palmas dominated Barcelona throughout the entire 45 minutes. Another former Barca old boy was close to actually scoring, Sandro Ramirez. He was close to scoring. Barcelona were very poor in the first half. Not to say Gundogan as well as Sergio Roberto were well beaten in that midfield. Yes, Frankie de Jong, he was a bit stable. He was still able to play his usual comfortable game, finding those passes, spotting the gaps in between the defenders, providing those defense splitting passes. He was still able to do that. But look, the front three of Barcelona, Rafinha, Robert Lewandowski, as well as Ferran Torres, struggled throughout the first entire 45 minutes. Barcelona struggled to contain this, relentless Las Palmas team. Las Palmas were relentless in the first half. Barcelona were nowhere near. They were dominant. They were dominant, Las Palmas, the home side. They could have scored 2-3 goals in the first half. Game could have been done, set, matched. This shows that Barcelona, their poor start to the season is continuing. Because we're talking about a team that only has won 2 of their last previous 5 league games. So Barcelona have been nowhere near their best, especially Robert Lewandowski. He was nowhere near his best. He's been slacking throughout the entire season. He hasn't been at his best at all, even in today's game. This is a game for him to forget. The Polish striker. Because he was just nowhere near. He did not really provide much in terms of attacking threat He did not provide much in terms of actually creating play. He did not provide much in terms of creating clear goal-scoring opportunities. He didn't at all. The same goes for Rafinha as well as Ferran Torres. They were so pale. They looked so pale. They were lethargic, both of them. As for Barcelona's defense, very poor to say the least. They were just lucky not to concede 2 or 3 goals. As when you look at the goal, how it was scored, Inaki Peña should have done better. He should never have allowed Munir to beat him to that 50-50 duel, which actually led to the goal, which gave Las Palmas the early lead. But hey, you know, second half, we did see a much improved Barcelona, right? Great goal by Ferran Torres. Once again, scoring his 4th league goal of the season in the 55th minute. As well as, bear in mind, also Munir, that's basically Munir's 2nd goal in as many matches this season. He has only played 19 times for Las Palmas this season, and that is his 2nd goal for Las Palmas for the club. And yeah, he hasn't really found the going yet, but hopefully it will give him much more confidence, you know, going into the African Cup of Nations. Hopefully he will deliver for that star-studded Morocco team, who are the favorites to actually clinch the title, the famous continental showpiece in, you know, the Ivory Coast. And then for Ferran Torres, you know, he has scored Barcelona's first goal in 2024. You understand? That's now his 4th league goal of the season. He has scored, that's like his tally from last season and the other season before. You know, in his first half season at Barcelona, he only netted 4 league goals. Even last season, he netted 4 league goals. Even this season, he has matched both of those tallies by netting another 4th league goal against Las Palmas, which was a great equalizer. It came off the face of Robert Lewandowski, and Lewandowski took it as a man. As Las Palmas were trying to clear the ball, it hit Lewandowski straight on his face, and the ball landed straightly to Sergio Roberto, was able to pick out Ferran Torres, and the Spanish winger, you know, coolly and calmly slotted the ball into the bottom corner of the net to actually give Blaugrana a much-needed equalizer, a much-needed great start to the second half. Now that means that Ferran Torres has actually scored 7 goals in 24 matches in all competitions this season. What a much-needed goal. Perhaps now he can even exceed his tally from previous seasons, because now, you understand, Barca is only still the second half, the beginning of the second half of the season. And hopefully he can continue with this run, because he came into the side replacing João Felix, who was also very lethargic in the previous game against Almeria. And that was another scraped victory for Barcelona. So Ferran Torres did repay his manager with a much-needed equalizer. And from that point onwards, yeah, you would expect Barca to actually, you know, keep on with the momentum, and they did eventually that, right? We saw the debut of Vitor Roque, the 18-year-old Brazilian, coming in, was sent from Atletico Palmeiras in the Brazilian Serie A. Great signing for Barcelona, right? The 18-year-old, he did have a couple of chances. He could have scored on debut after João Felix found him. You understand? Unmarked in the box, but his effort was just drilled slightly wide. But look, he's still young. It's still his first game. It's a dream come true for the young Brazilian teenager, and we hope to see more from him. You know, we hope to see more from him, right? As for Lewandowski, that should be a stern warning for Robert Lewandowski. It should be a stern warning for him, because he's not delivering. Robert Lewandowski is not delivering at all. We can't write him off as yet. He still has the quality, but hey, man, the great Pole is just not delivering at all for Barcelona. Perhaps he will lose his place if he still continues with this kind of performances, because this is a stern warning for him. The arrival of this young, you know, talented Brazilian, Vitor Roque, should serve as a warning sign for Robert Lewandowski that if he doesn't pull up his socks and if he doesn't up his game, he will lose his place as the first choice striker in this team. So Barca had to wait until the last minute of the game. An injury time penalty, very controversial. Most people think that it shouldn't have been given. Some people think it should have been given. It was the correct decision. Although it resulted in more damage for the home side, Las Palmas, as the Dutch left back, Daley Sint-Graven was sent off, given his marching orders. Second yellow card for the left back. He was sent off for a push on Gundogan, who was clear on goal, obviously, who could have scored with his head, but he was pushed by Daily St-Graven, which eventually saw Barcelona being given a lifeline, being awarded a penalty, which was slotted into the back of the net by the former Manchester City midfielder Ilkay Gundogan. That is now his third goal for FC Barcelona, and that's the first time in which Barcelona has won a game of football where he has scored. Remember, his first goal came in the El Clasico. Barca lost that game as Real Madrid came back from behind to defeat Blaugrana by 2-1. He did score in that defeat to Girona again, and now this is actually the first time where Barcelona have achieved maximum points, where he has actually put the ball in the back of the net, and it was the winning goal, the crucial goal for Blaugrana after a very difficult game, after a very sloppy game, after a game where I feel like this is a game for them to forget, irrespective. And it shows how lucky Barcelona have been throughout the season. It just reminds you of that game against Real Sociedad when they played away from home at San Sebastian, where Real Sociedad were rampant. They ran over Blaugrana. But Blaugrana were just lucky to win that game by a 0-0. Ronald Araujo scoring the winning goal in that encounter. They were very lucky. As well as even in this game, they were also just as lucky. A scrappy win for Blaugrana against Pedri's boyhood club. Remember, Pedri is also out injured, as well as Gavi. He's also out injured, as well as Marc-Andre ter Stegen, also injured. So, unfortunately, Barca have to struggle with the amount of injuries. Now, João Cancelo is also on the sidelines. But hey, Barca have to pull up their socks if they are to challenge for the title. Because now, victory here takes Barcelona's tally to 41 points from 19 games in La Liga. That's now their second highest at this stage in the last 5 seasons as they move to third on the log. Just 7 points behind Real Madrid and Girona, who are tied on points, but Los Blancos have a better goal difference than Girona. So that's the reason why they lead at the top of the table, right? As for Las Palmas, they now remain in 10th, following back-to-back defeats. You understand? So as for, like I said, Barcelona coming into this one, they only won 2 out of their last 5 games in La Liga. They had a horrific December. Horrific. Despite winning their last game and despite defeating Atletico Madrid, but they drew against Valencia. They dropped points against Valencia. But before that, they dropped points against Valencia. They lost to Girona by 4-2. That was a heavy defeat. But hey, Barcelona need to get over it. They need to keep going. They just need to keep going if they are to challenge in terms of keeping their domestic title, in terms of keeping their league crown, right? And look, victory for Las Palmas, they missed out, Las Palmas, because victory for them could have seen them move up to 7th, level on points with Real Betis, right? And now Las Palmas have now conceded 17 goals, although Los Blancos have conceded fewer. You understand? Los Blancos have conceded fewer, Real Madrid, because Real Madrid have only conceded 11 goals so far this season. So both Las Palmas and Real Madrid do have a great defensive record so far this season. You understand? They've got a great defensive records. So yeah, that's it for now, man. I'll be back soon. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I hope you did enjoy this video. I hope you did. Please don't forget to mention your feedback. Cheers.